Hi, it is February 25th, 8:17 p.m. Arizona time, and my name is Deborah Cook, and this is going to be the first of many videos that will address the slander and the harassment and the outright lies by two radio hosts in Colorado. They go by the name of Chris Ego, rearrange the letters a little bit and start it with G, and Cherie Ego, rearrange the letters a little bit and also start that one with G. Those aren't their real names, by the way. Chris Ego's name is really Cristobal Castillo. And this will also be addressing the slander that has been perpetrated on me for over a year by Christopher Everard. Christopher Everard has been slandering me for over a year. And this is the first of many videos that will address this. This first video, I want to address the photos that they talked about on a certain radio show by these hosts in Colorado and their guest, British correspondent, Christopher Everard, from February 9th. Now, this radio show slanders me for more than an hour, and I'm going to be addressing every single thing point by point. But this first one, it's a little bit out of order, but I want to do this because there is a man, a landlord, who was conned by Christopher Everard. And they mention these photos in that radio show. Now, these photos in the radio show, they say that, oh, Deborah Cook took these photos after Chris Everard had a flood in his house. Lie, lie, lie. First of all, I didn't take these photos. The landlord took these photos, and the landlord sent them to me in March of 2013 after Chris Everard skipped town. He skipped the country. He fled the country, skipped out on almost a year's worth of rent, and left this landlord with a lot of debt, a filthy house, a damaged house, and that's ridiculous. So Chris Everard conned this landlord. These photos were sent to me by the landlord. The landlord gave me permission to put them up on my Facebook page. Now, conveniently, coincidentally, my Facebook page was taken down in the early morning hours of February 12th. 2.5, almost 3 days later, after this radio show airs that slandered me for more than an hour. So I don't think it's a coincidence. They reported me to Facebook for terms of use violations. Yeah, right. Everard and his little minions love to report people for all sorts of little violations, and they make false claims on YouTube, false claims on Facebook, and you name it. So what you're looking at on screen right now are the photos that the landlord sent me. And you can see how filthy Chris Everard left this house. Now, what you need to understand about this house is that it was pristine. This house was a new construction home. The landlord built this house. It was a 3-level house with an indoor pool, and it had 3 bathrooms, I believe, 3 or 4 bedrooms, and it was just beautiful. This house had a manicured lawn, a manicured garden. It was immaculate. When Chris Everard took possession of this house was immaculate. There was not a speck of dust anywhere in this house. No filth, no nothing. It was pristine, new construction home. And these are the photos of how Christopher Everard left the house. And this is just a sampling. There's more. And I had them up on my Facebook page, and that's just one of many things that annoyed them about my Facebook page. So now I am using YouTube, and this is going to be the first of many videos to address all of the slander that they said about me on this particular radio show. And so let me address the house situation, this house in Spain. I arrive in Spain March 15th of 2012. Within 2 hours of me arriving in Spain, Chris Everard stole $1,000 cash that I had on me. He then took it to a bank. He said he was protecting the money, that he was going to put it in his jacket pocket so it wouldn't be stolen. Well, I walked around Egypt with $1,000 in my bag, and nobody stole it in Egypt. I really don't think anyone's going to steal $1,000 in Spain. I'm pretty careful with my money, and I'm pretty careful with my bag and everything. But he took the money, and then he took it into a bank, and he exchanged $500 US cash for euros. Then the next morning, we go to a rental agency. He asks me 3 times that next morning, "Darling, do you have your passport?" And I was thinking, yeah, he knows I always have my passport on me. I always travel with my passport. Of course you have to travel with your passport, and I always carry it on me when I'm in a foreign country, just for safety reasons. I carry multiple forms of ID. Unlike him, he doesn't have multiple forms of ID. I've never seen a driver's license from him. But we go to the rental agency, and he asks me for my passport. He then grabs it out of my hand, gives it to the rental agent, and they scan it in. And I'm wondering, what's that all about? So I ask Chris Everard about that as we're leaving the rental agency, and he says, "Darling, it's to make it look more legitimate." Well, you have to understand that Chris Everard introduced himself to these rental agents and the landlord. He introduces himself as an architect. Chris Everard introduces himself as an architect. He's not an architect. Chris Everard, what you have to understand is he will lie and cheat and steal in any situation in order to benefit him. So at that point, introducing himself as an architect to get a rental house in Spain was what he did. That's his behavior. And so then they start doing the paperwork for the house. Chris Everard and I go back to France. Now, while he's in France, he doesn't work on the Spirit World film, Spirit World 3, by the way, which was due out. The original release date for this was supposed to be February 12th, 2012. It's already several months late by now, because now we're talking into late March and April of 2012. Does Chris Everard work on Spirit World 3 when he goes back to France? Oh, no. What he does and what he spends his time on is creating a blog called thedreamhousechannel.blogspot. Google that. Throw in the Dreamhouse Channel, all one word, and throw in the name Chris Everard or Christopher Everard into Google, and you will find it. This blog has been inactive. It was only active for March and April of 2012. So he's working on that instead of getting Spirit World 3 out to his customers who are already griping that they haven't received it. And he's setting this up to continue with the lie that he's an architect. Now, we go back to Spain in April, toward the end of the first week of April, because I flew out of Barcelona April 12th. So this was, and the last post, I think, on that Dreamhouse Channel blog, I think it was April 7th. So between April 7th and April 12th, we were back in Spain. He's continuing with the lie that he's an architect. He's showing the rental agency his blog. They're looking at the photos. And of course, Chris Everard, his usual behavior is to just steal photos off of Google, steal videos off of YouTube, steal text from Wikipedia. This is what he does. This is his usual behavior with everything from films, articles, everything. This is what he does. Now, he's talking to these rental agents in Spain, and he's like, "Oh, yes, I'm an architect, da-da-da-da-da." And he says, "Why don't you check out my blog?" And he gets them to pull up his blog on one of their laptops in the office, and the guy looks at it, and he's like, "Oh, that's a famous thing," and it was something in Dubai or something like that. And the guy asks him the rental agent asks Chris Everard if he worked on that, and Chris Everard said, "Oh, no, one of my vendors did." Okay, first of all, lie, lie, lie. Everything out of Chris Everard's mouth is a lie, and this is what he does. Now, he has no vendors. Chris Everard has no employees. He sits on a filthy vineyard in the south of France behind a computer, and when he's not harassing people and slandering people and putting them on enemies lists, he is basically poaching things, stealing things off of YouTube, stealing things off of Wikipedia, stealing images off of Google Images, and saying it's a DVD, saying it's an article, saying it's whatever. It's just lie after lie after lie with him. Now, I left Spain on April 12th, 2012, and I have not been back to Europe since then. And on this radio show, they were saying that I took these photos. Deborah Cook took these photos. And Chris Ego actually gets in on it, saying, yes, Chris, didn't you say that you had a flood in your place and she took these photos? Not true. These photos were sent to me in March of 2013 by the landlord after Chris Everard fled Spain. And what I guarantee you what's going to happen is they're going to claim copyright violation or something on this video, this little video of me showing you these photos that the landlord sent me. They're going to claim copyright violation because that's what they do. And they get on the radio, they slander people, they harass people. I'm not the only one. I have a friend who I met on Facebook in 2013, and Chris Ego has been harassing and slandering and attacking her for 3.5 years. This is not the first time they've done this. Now, you have to ask yourself, why are they attacking me? I'm pretty much a nobody. I mean, I'm not famous. I don't have a name. I'm just me. I'm just a normal person. Why are they attacking me so much? Ask yourself that. You guys are supposed to be truthers. You need to really look into this and see who's really telling you the truth. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for donations on films that'll never get made or that are made from people's work that has been stolen. I'm not asking for a penny. I'm not asking anyone for anything. I'm not asking for investors. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not asking you to type your email into a tiny box on a website. I've never asked for any of those things. I have this benefits me in no way. Okay? You have to ask yourself, who stands to lose in all this? They do. They do. The monsters with a microphone in Colorado and the criminal hiding in the truth movement in the south of France. Okay? That's who stands to lose in all this because of what I know and what I know about them. Okay? And we're going to get into those in the next couple of videos because they've had my Facebook page taken down, so I'm going to be making YouTube videos. I apologize. They're a little bit amateurish because I don't make videos. But this is what I'm dealing with now. So I'm going to be making these videos addressing these points that were slanderous and harassing and just outright lies that were made on this particular radio broadcast of February 9th that is still podcasted to this day, even after phone calls. So, yeah. So this will be the first of many videos, and I hope to see you soon. So stay safe out there, stay safe on the internet, and stay away from the con men. Okay? And I'll be naming names. Thank you. Good night.